Awesome. Thanks, Aleesha. You take it away.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And Shernaz, please feel free to jump in and give any tips that you may have. I know you're going to be a wealth of knowledge. I'm just a girl who likes making butter chicken. So, so as Michelle said, I am also going to make roti. So when we have butter chicken, most often than not, I will make naan instead. But because a few of you had said you would much rather see roti, that's what I'm making you today. So I looked into roti, and the real cool thing about it is generally it's just flour and water, and then some recipes will also call for salt and oil. So for me today, I am using the roti for two. My husband and I are doing low carb in our house, so we're not going to have any, but I am going to make it for the kids because my 5-year-old loves. Yes,
you can use the, what is it called, the gluten-free roti flour, which is available in the Indian supermarket.
Is it, when you say gluten-free, is it is it almond flour?
No, it's not almond flour. It's made out of jawar and all those other things. I'll show you the brand later on. I'll just go to the garage and get the brand later on.
Oh, okay. So for low carb, it's not necessarily just gluten-free. It will be like a very low carb. So we'd only use like coconut flour or almond flour generally, but I'm going to make some wraps later on for my hubby and I, and just focus on the roti at the moment. So there's a recipe, there's a larger recipe for more portions, but this recipe calls for just 4 pieces, which will do my boys fine. So I'm going to click on the roti for 2 and start cooking, and it requires 125 grams of plain flour, 60 grams of water, hopefully getting that right, yeah. Oh, getting ahead of myself now. 15 grams of sunflower oil, and a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt.
Aleesha, I just want to check, is this the recipe, the kid-friendly butter chicken cookie dough recipe that comes from the Whole Food book?
I don't know what book it comes from, but it is called Kid-Friendly Butter Chicken in cookie dough. So I will I can send a link as well on which one that is, or I can show you.
Yeah, I'll pop it in.
So we're going to need this for 1 minute. So I'd love, Shernaz, if you'd be able to tell us the difference. So I know that there is roti, paratha, chapati, and I know naan is different because it's got yeast in it, but what are those 3? What's the difference between those?
Roti is the day-to-day roti which people eat, but roti is a little thicker compared to the chapatis. The chapatis are really very fine, and they are like, I don't know, this is the first basic food that a girl learns to cook when she is of the cooking age in her mother's house. And I used to cheat a lot while I used to make chapatis at home, because I used to have a round container and I used to cut them till mum caught me.
That's smart. Oh.
And she said, oh, how come my girl is making round chapatis? And then she caught me doing it. And she said, no, you're not going to roll them. So you have to roll them nicely. So chapatis are thin, rotis are a little thicker. The naans are, of course, it has yeast, and the parathas will have a filling inside, and then you roll it. But to make it simple, when I make the dough, I put my potatoes or the vegetables inside and make my parathas with it.
Ooh,
so
yum.
Yeah, don't worry about sitting and filling it and putting all your things, making it and then rolling it. Just when the dough is mixing, just add your potatoes or your vegetables in it and make it into this. So to give your rotis a little bit of taste, you can add a little bit of tandoori paste to it, or a little everyday Indian paste, and make it into masala rotis.
Well, okay, now I'm going to grab some of that out the fridge then. I have my tandoori paste. Bear with me, guys. Now I'm freestyling.
Half a teaspoon, darling. One or half. I don't know how your boys will like it.
We're trying to get our kids used to spicy food, so we still do put chili and these what spices, because I grew up in a meat and 3 veg, no flavor household, and yes, very, very European. So I have tried to introduce different flavors and spices to my kids so that they don't have to burn their mouths at 20 when they start eating spicy food. So what I'm going to do is, so even though we're using guided cooking, I am going to go back a step and I am just going to mix that. Let's knead it for just another 20 seconds. Oh, now that's silly. Come on, go back to 20 seconds. Just because we're going to mix through that tandoori paste that I've now put in there. Great tip, thank you.
And then this plain roti, you can eat it with yogurt also.
Put yogurt in it or on it?
No, you can eat it with yogurt. So you can
cut
it, you can bite it into bite-sized pieces, dip it in yogurt and eat it.
Yeah, so for the, once we've cooked them at the end, let's have a look. It says to put ghee on. I don't unfortunately have ghee, but I just use melted butter for ours.
You can use anything.
Oh, well, that's mixed really well. So
yeah, see, it gives a good taste. It gives a good taste to your roti.
It smells so good, so good. Does anyone have any?
I have a question quickly. If you're making the roti or some of them, they're needing yogurt. Now,
yes, the yogurt is with the naan. The naan.
Okay. Now, if I'm dairy free, what could I use instead of yogurt?
I would put coconut yogurt.
And you don't think that will change the taste too much?
No, the coconut yogurt is just a little sweeter, but that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the naan. It doesn't matter.
So there have been times where my son has eaten all the yogurt. So I make plain yogurt and then we add fruit and stuff to it afterwards. And I might not have yogurt in the fridge. And I have made naan successfully by putting sour cream in instead, or the other one is buttermilk, and they've both turned out perfectly.
Yeah.
Cool. So I've got my naan, my roti dough here.
Roti.
So I've got my lovely Thermomix, and I am just going to pop this in the center and roll it up and leave it for 10 minutes. Now we leave it for 10 minutes for it to rest so that the dough becomes a bit more pliable, right? Cool. So next, while that is waiting, I am going to start on my kid-friendly butter chicken. So go to my week. So can you tell which cookbook it comes out of in the details here? I don't think so.
No, but it's in the whole food child. I was looking at cook.
Okay. Cool. So I've got here it says 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. I never use what they say. I always put more in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cloves of garlic in here. We love garlic in our house.
Yeah, so I don't eat garlic, so you can miss it.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And then here is 3 centimeters of fresh turmeric. Now, I learned recently, when you're blitzing things up in the Thermomix, you don't actually need to peel the turmeric or the garlic because it minces it up so finely that you don't notice the husk, and especially once you've cooked it as well. I've been doing that probably for a couple of months now, and you don't notice it. So it saves you a lot of time and frustration having to peel the garlic with a spoon. I just chuck it all in there. So
the ginger and the turmeric, the peels of the ginger and the turmeric have a lot of medicinal value. So just have it.
Oh, yeah, extra nutrition for
But
you.
you don't
like
peel
that.
your garlic, Aleesha. Your garlic you put in whole.
No. So my garlic I do.
Oh, your garlic you do.
But my ginger and my turmeric, I don't. Sorry, I might have said that wrong.
Okay. Yeah, because there's lots of, like Shernaz was saying, lots of goodness under the ginger. Yes, I thought you said you didn't peel your garlic. I was like, wow.
No, but I can't show you.
Do you know how to peel the garlic in Thermomix?
Yes.
Just cut the head and the tail off and blitz it for 5 seconds on reverse. I did
try that. Someone told me to do that on the onion. Can confirm, no, it did not work very well. The onion was just a big grotty mess. So I know that for some of you, turmeric is not readily available at So your supermarkets, I know, often don't. I got this from our Safeway greengrocer in Highland Park. But if you're wanting to omit actual turmeric for turmeric powder, we do a 1 to 3 conversion. So 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder is equal to 3 teaspoons or a tablespoon of turmeric fresh. So I'm lucky I've managed to find it fresh. So, all right, so we've got our ginger and our garlic, our 1 brown onion.
So for those of you who don't eat onions, substitute it with cabbage.
Cabbage?
Yeah, cabbage or kohlrabi or courgette, whatever you like. It's just to give it, the onion and all that just gives a little bit of gravy to your chicken.
I did not know that. That's a good one.
You know, when you're peeling the garlic, what speed do you do it on 5 seconds reverse? At what speed?
On 5.
Speed 5.
Okay. And you just put them into the bowl like that. Do you top off the head and the tail? You break them apart? No.
Chop the head. Oh, sorry. Chop the head and the tail and then pop it all in with the skin on. Reverse 5 for 5 seconds. Cool. So it also calls for 1 fresh long chili. I don't use them too often. So I've got a big lot of dried chilies. So I'm putting a dried chili in mine instead of a fresh one. Cool. So we're going to put our measuring cup back on. And we're going to blitz that on speed 7 for 7 seconds. 4 seconds, not 7. It never ceases to amaze me how fast this blitzes up. I actually might do it a little bit finer, just because with the ginger and turmeric in there, that's it all blitzed up. Oh, and that onion hits you. And I'll just do it for 3 more seconds.
And can you share again, fresh turmeric, what did you say it equals to?
So 1 teaspoon of turmeric is equal to 3 teaspoons of fresh. So it's a 1 to 3 ratio.
Okay, thank you.
That's perfect. So if you were making this for young children, of course, you wouldn't have to put the chili in. Oh, and you could limit the onion and the ginger, right? Onion and the garlic if you wish to. So now we're going to put in.
Just a tip for my friends, we Indians never cook separate food for our children. We give them a little bit of gravy with more of rice, so they get the taste.
Yeah.
Instead of cooking separately, just add the same normal gravy that you cook for yourselves, but add a little bit and more of rice.
Well, I have a 5-month-old, so that's good to know. Once he starts eating food, to
like my 3-year-old eats our butter chicken. My 3-year-old eats our butter chicken. The normal butter chicken.
How spicy do you have your Shernaz?
Mine is like good enough, but the recipe, the Thermomix recipe is just good. So it's not very hot. But the murg makhani recipe is the genuine butter chicken that you get in India. So that's the right butter chicken.
I have made that one as well on Cookie Doo. It's also very, very yummy.
If you are making it for adults on a party, use that recipe, murg makhani.
I will remember that. Okay, so I have a heap of spices in here that I'm just going to name off, and I've just put them all into one container. So we've got 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground cardamom, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika. Doesn't matter if you put smoky. I haven't, but I know that a lot of people will struggle to find.
Put the paprika. Don't put the paprika. Put the smoky paprika.
Okay. I haven't, so I put sweet paprika in. 2 teaspoons of garam masala and 2 teaspoons of coriander. So we're going to put all of that in.
And we can grind our own coriander seeds. We can grind our own cumin seeds, all for 30 seconds, speed 9 or speed 10, whatever you like.
Right. So this is going to cook for 4 minutes. Oh, I always do that. I get too excited and I go too far ahead. So I do have both the ground and the seed version, depending on what I'm cooking. Now I know yesterday you talked about, but I didn't get to hear. So I'd love you to answer a question around the cardamom pods. So I know you've got your black cardamom and your green cardamom. Are they interchangeable at all? And what's their flavor profile?
No, the black cardamom is a really strong cardamom. So I would just put it to tandoori paste, and like if you're making a biryani or something. So it's a really strong cardamom, but the green cardamom is a nice, it has a subtle flavor and it can be used for desserts also. So,
okay.
Yeah. But if you're cooking with green cardamom, I wouldn't remove the peel. Just use the skin with the skin.
Yeah, I think that's what I've got.
Because they are very tiny.
These ones?
Yeah, just use these. Yeah, with the
skin.
Yeah,
so I chop the whole thing in and then we'll grind them up. That's right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've got a question here, which I'm interested in. Who is it now? Sandy, I think. Sandy Doty says she keeps frozen hot chilies, but when she wants to use them, she has trouble blitzing them up so that they spread easily through her mixture. So what tips do you have when you're going to use frozen chilies in your curry mixture?
I would soak it in water before blitzing it. Yeah.
Do you also have
water to defrost it, or what?
Oh, not defrost it. I would just soak them in hot water and just take it away.
I have chilies in my freezer as well, and what I do, if you've got one, is I use the defrost function for vegetables on my microwave. They do end up quite soft and a bit soggy from being frozen, but they're going in blitzed up in there anyway, and it seems to.
The best way to keep your chilies is like just make it into a paste at the first step only, and then fill it up in your ice cubes and keep it. In the first
Smart.
place, just make it into a chili paste, add a little bit of oil and just mix it, and then fill up your ice cube. So then you can just use one of the ice cube as your chili paste. It's done. You don't have to blitz it at that time.
Clever.
That's a great idea. So you could just put it into your thermoserver with some Thermomix with some olive oil,
any oil,
and salt to preserve, or not necessary.
Oil is the preservative.
Okay, and then just mix it up for about a minute or so. Get a nice paste.
Yeah. So if you want it really pasty, mix it up a little more. But I like it I don't like anything very pasty. So I like the little bit, just nice.
So using oil is a good way to preserve most things. So the reason why you use the oil is because there's no oxygen getting to whatever you're preserving. So there's that's why they put it like butter and oil on top of like pâtés and
anything, even in your ginger paste, all of that we will put a little bit of oil. Yeah. All your pickles, everything will have a little bit of oil. We Indians have oil in almost it because that's a preservative.
And then the cool thing is if you're using it in chilies or ginger, is that after a while the oil takes on the flavor of what's inside the in the jar. So I do like confit garlic, and then you end up with this beautiful garlic oil afterwards that you can use on salad dressings or even in your food. It's really good.
And to give you a little tip, friends, with the ginger paste, if you like, we put a teaspoon of cumin seeds and 2 or 3 green chilies in it, so it becomes a chili ginger paste.
I hope you're writing these all down, Michelle, because I do not have a pen and paper, and I need to do this too.
I'm trying.
Okay. You're doing great. Okay, so next, that smells so good. So we've got our pretty much like a paste, right? It's like our the base paste of everything mixed together. So I'm just going to mix this down, and it calls to ask. It asks for 150 grams of cherry tomatoes, but I don't really want to spend $15 on cherry tomatoes at the moment, with it being the middle of winter. So I just used canned tomatoes, so 70 cents plus, yeah, half of that. Great.
That's
So
how the Thermomix saves you time, saves you money.
money, definitely. So plop those. I think that's just a bit over. Yes, it is, but that's okay. Next. Now, I'd love to know, for those of you who shop at Countdown, who here buys tomato paste, because I have the most amazing tomato paste. If you go to Countdown, this is the tomato paste you want to be getting. And the reason for that is it is $2 for a whole jar. And once you have finished with your tomato paste, you can use it for your tandoori paste and all sorts. So I have quite a few, like I've got another one here off to the side. And I make my teriyaki sauces, my tandoori paste, my garlic and ginger paste, and I've got these reusable jars.
When tomatoes are cheap, Thermomix
Yep.
can make your tomato paste for you.
Even better. That's even better. I mean, these are $2, so I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, really good to use, because I before I started shopping at Countdown, I would use a can, and then I'd end up with all these little bits of leftover pureed or tomato paste in my freezer that I would forget about, because you can't leave the can open and in the fridge. Right, so this is 100 grams of tomato paste. And that brand, sorry, is just the Countdown Essentials tomato paste as well. And we probably go through, because we make spag bowl and lasagnas and curries, probably a jar every 1 to 2 weeks. So we use it quite a lot. Right. So here, it calls for 1,000 grams of chicken. I think it's chicken thigh. I don't use chicken thigh because it's expensive. I use chicken breast, and I do deviate from the recipe a little bit by using this bad boy, the butterfly whisk. And the reason why I will use this is so that the blades don't end up blitzing and shredding my chicken up. So I'm going to pop this in here first. So if chicken thigh is on special, of course we will go and use that, but breast is very cheap, well, cheaper in comparison, and also a bit more readily available at the moment. Don't know if anyone else is having issues trying to get meat. Lockdown. Right. So 1 tablespoon of lime juice. I didn't have fresh limes, so again, I'm cheating, and I've got some freshly squeezed.
Lemon will also just squeeze in a fresh slice of lemon.
Oh, lemon as well?
Yeah, it's still of the same family. Lime, lemon, all of them.
True, true. Okay, so I'm going to insert that, and it's going to cook for 17 minutes.
Shernaz, we were talking about the Peshwari naan earlier. Now, you suggested not worrying about making a filling and just including everything when you mix your dough. Is that what you suggested? And then it comes out nice and evenly mixed?
It spreads evenly, yeah. So first, let it do the dough as you're doing. And when, like, just drop in between and then add your Peshwari naan, especially with the Peshwari naan, because I don't want all that. There's a lot of things in that Peshwari naan. I know I don't make it often, but I make the naan with the potatoes, like the parathas. So that's the time I mix up my vegetables and the potatoes inside, just 20-30 seconds before the dough finishes.
Towards the end. Okay.
But it's worth giving a try. I think I'll give it a try and let you know by Friday, maybe. I'll try Peshwari naan.
Great. Because Debbie was saying she made Peshwari naan, so that was quite courageous of her. She made it yesterday. They tasted great, but the filling wasn't evenly spread. So how could she have fixed that, apart from what you're saying, include it in the last 20 seconds?
Naan, it requires a lot of skill, even for me, because it has to be filled and closed. If you're not seeing my actions, and it has to be closed nicely, and then pat it this way. Just pat it this way nicely. and then roll it or I usually just use my mat, the thermomat, and I pat it with the hand instead of using the rolling pin, because otherwise the naan things will just pop up from the others. So that's how I do it. See, it is like easy to include the filling in the dough. That's what we do. I do it all the time. Let me try the peshwa. I don't make it so much because it's quite a, like, a good dish.
Fishy.
Every day.
You go for it, Aleesha. Sorry.
No, that's fine. We've got a few minutes, so that is perfectly fine. So I've grabbed my rested dough. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm a bit meticulous when it comes to any types of doughs or buns, I have to measure them all equally. I can't do it just by looking at them or pulling them apart. So I'm going to go here to my 3 dots above the recipe, and I'm going to click on scales, and I'm going to measure them out. So this dough, I think, yields around about, stop leaning on the bench, Aleesha. So I've got not a nice stone bench, I've got a softer bench, so my bench is messing with my scales at the moment. Plus it's also, it's not going to work, is it? Come on. It's because this is moving the stuff around on the inside of it. Trying to be smart, Aleesha. Let's see, so this is around about 200. Yeah, we're not going to get it right. And with the scales, it will measure in 1 gram increments when you're just using the scales, but if it's cooking, it only does measure in 5 gram increments. I'm going to be a pain, and I am going to use my other Thermomix because I have a bit of OCD. So I've got, I'm very blessed to have 2 Thermomixes because my husband got sick of me taking my Thermomix to cooking experiences, that he needed one at home when we when I wasn't there. So that works out great for me. Right, so this is all 200 grams, and I'm wanting about 50 grams per. There we go, that's 50 grams. This with the tandoori paste, it smells really nice. I don't know what I was doing.
Did you include in your dough when you made the dough with the tandoori paste?
Half a teaspoon.
Okay, so not too much.
It's got this nice orange.
I think she has used the roti for 2 recipe. So if it was
Yes.
the full roti, just be generous and put 1 full teaspoon to it. Or if you like it more, please put 1 tablespoon, whatever you like. It all depends upon everybody's taste.
Okay.
Hey, Aleesha, I wouldn't measure it so equally, okay? Just cut the dough into 4 parts, done.
For most person, that would work great, but I've got a little bit of, I have very specific OCD, like when people say words funny, and I count when I walk upstairs. I know it's just everything that makes me me.
It's nice. Everybody has their own beautiful strength.
I don't know, Thermomix owners, do you get a little kick out of when you pour ingredients into your Thermomix bowl when you're using the scale and you get it dead on? I love that. I feel like I've won, not the lotto, but yeah. Right, so I've got my 4 pieces of roti. Now it does say to lightly flour your mat. The other thing I like to do when I am using any doughs is I have also a second Thermomat. So you know how you roll things between 2 pieces of parchment or baking paper? I don't have to use baking paper, and I just use these. And the guides on it, especially when I'm making wraps, I just line them up, and then I will roll them out, and I don't have to worry about my rolling pin sticking to everything. So this says to roll them out to about 16 centimeters. I know I'm probably not rolling as good as we would usually roll them. Shernaz, what do you do?
I just put them and roll them. As I said in the beginning, this is the first thing a girl learns in the Indian house, to cut onions and to roll chapatis.
Oh, why to cut onions?
Because
That's-
onion is there in everything in Indian cooking.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that is one thing that I love about having my Thermomix now is that I don't have to dice onions anymore. I don't like having to I've already done this a bit too thin, to be fair.
I'll quickly
I've
go
got
and
my-
get the gluten-free flour for my friends.
Oh yes, please. So this is my one roti. Now, you guys might be witness to my kitchen burning down in a minute because I have a lovely frying pan that I'm going to use. And hopefully, I tried doing some before. It started smoking again. So I don't know if it's about to give up the ghosts. But hey, Michelle, you know where in Half Moon Bay I live. So if you start hearing sirens, please come rescue me. I'm sure lockdown will
Can you
I'll
all see this,
understand.
friend? Can you
What's
see this?
atta?
You can see that.
Could you tell me what flour is in it?
Yeah, I'll just tell you that. That's what I was reading. It has got tapioca pearls.
Yeah.
Then it has got sorghum. It has got water chestnut, barnyard millet, soybeans, corn, and amaranth. Amaranth is something. I think it's
It's a grain. Amaranth
Tell me
is a
again.
grain.
Tell me again whilst I type it. There's amaranth.
Yeah, amaranth.
Sorghum?
AMARANTH.
All the rest.
Then
It's
I'll just read it again.
corn.
Sorry, Shernaz, I can't hear you.
Pardon me.
Say it again.
Tapioca pearls, amaranth, water chestnut, barnyard millet, sorghum, finger millet. So that must be the whole millet. And then corn and soybeans.
So unfortunately, while that would be amazing for households that have gluten allergies, that is not a low carb option. But yeah, that's a perfect option for anyone with any wheat allergies.
Because we use this, but when you're making the roti dough, we need a little bit of more water and a little bit of oil if you're using the recipe, Thermomix recipe to make the dough.
There is a couple of recipes that I have used. So the other week I did make a Malaysian beef curry. I think it was Malaysian. I can't pronounce the name of it, but it was amazing. And it called for coconut, kind of like a coconut roti. But I found a recipe online to make coconut wraps, which were low carb. And they're pretty good. But I have recently, pardon me?
I can't remember offhand. I'd done something for another customer, which was gluten-free, but I had used coconut flour and we had made these rotis. I don't know what is it called. Can't think it off.
Okay.
Off my head.
So I have rolled out my 4 roti, and now hopefully my kitchen is not going to burn down. So take that out. Please, everyone, cross your fingers for me. Thought this would be a bit easier than taking you over to my oven.
Just looked on the mix shop and all the dough mats, the thermomats that you're using, they are actually out of stock. So it just shows what everybody's been buying in preparation for lockdown.
You know what's not out of stock? The mats if you use them as a host reward.
Oh, the host rewards are still available. So there you go.
Yes, yes they are. One moment, team. Sorry, I just have to quickly grab a bottle out for my 5-month dog who needs to sit bottle. Sorry, guys.
I will just let you know we have a virtual cooking experience on Wednesday night at 7:30. We're going to be making custard, beetroot salad, salami, creamy salami fettuccine, and an aioli. And if you come to that and bring 2 friends, you qualify on Zoom. It's an hour. You qualify for host rewards. So if you're wanting to get your hands on those baking mats, that's a perfect way to do it, or thermoservers. And if you bring 4 friends, you can get 2 lots of host rewards. So feel free to let us know if you'd like the further information around that.
Perfect. Right, I'm just going to let this heat up and pop in the, oh, hang on, just a sec. I'm going to turn my light, hopefully this is going to make me too dark. I'm just going to turn my light down a bit so my husband can put the jug on for the baby's bottle. Sorry guys. This is the great thing about cooking from home. You can work on the fly, right? So hopefully I'm not too dark and you can all still see me.
No, you're good. You're good. We can still see you.
So I'm going to put these in here. Now, when I had made naan before, I know this is roti, but I had always thought you put it into a pan with butter, and because it was so buttery and you had butter all over it, which then meant I created these soggy, horrible messes. This is pre-Thermomix without guided cooking. These soggy bits of dough that, I mean, they were all right, but they weren't the naan that you get from the store. Didn't know that, no, you cook all these breads and flatbreads and roti in a dry pan, and then you add your butter afterwards. So tip here, don't put butter or oil in your pan. You're good? Right. Then he said, let there be light. And there was. Right. So I've put this down in my pan, hoping that it's not going to burn the house down. Seems to be doing all right now. So for a frying pan, so if you're going to do this on the stove, you would use a medium to high heat and put your roti down for about 50 seconds or until you can start seeing kind of black marks on the dough, and then flip over for another 30 seconds on the other side, or until you see like dark brown or black marks.
Put another one next side of it.
This is true. It's just because I'm worried about the pan. I think it's on its way out, so I might need to buy another one.
No, it doesn't stick. Don't worry. If it sticks together, just cut it.
So I had a bit of it. What I meant was, so this pan, I think, is on the fritz. There's something wrong with it, and it went really, really hot and started like smoking underneath before the cooking started. So I'm just a bit nervous about using it.
I like your pen.
It's a Breville. I have had it for about 10 years, so I mean it has had a good life. Okay. All right, so you see it's starting to brown up. That's enough. The light brown. That
looks gorgeous. Yeah, looks lovely.
It tastes lovely too. Your kids will tell you to make this all the time.
Well, now I'm going to, with my my low carb wraps, I'm going to put some of that tandoori paste into those as well, and give that a go, because I'd never even thought about putting tandoori paste into my dough. So thank you. Right. I know it says on the recipe that they do puff up from time to time, and then you use the bit. Oh, is that? Okay.
The chapatis will
on this recipe. And you just use the back of the spoon to push them back down, is that right?
Yeah. If you just press it this way, even this should have, even this will become like it will blow. If you just put your spoon on the top this way, just press it hard. Yeah. Turn the other one. The other ones. Yeah.
That would be better.
Yes.
How much longer do you have on your curry, Aleesha?
1 minute and 42 seconds. I could probably stop it a bit early.
I would also add the everyday Indian curry paste to the roti sometimes.
So Shernaz, that leads us into what you're cooking with us tomorrow. Would you like to let the people know so that they can come expectant and excited and invite their friends?
Okay, I'm going to cook the sabji, which is a very beautiful vegetable curry, but we are going to use the everyday Indian curry paste in it. I will show you the ingredients, what we use in the everyday Indian curry paste, but I will not make it because this curry paste needs to be cooked prior to preserving it. So it's always there in my fridge. So I will just show you a bottle. I will use that, but I'll display all the ingredients that go into that everyday Indian curry paste. And as I said, in the rotis, sometimes I add the everyday curry paste also. So it just gives a different taste to the rotis.
Love that. And you're making sabji. So sabji is?
It's a vegetable. It's a vegetable curry.
If you wanted to add a protein of chicken or something like that, you could?
I think so, you could. I'll just check. Yeah, it's a vegetable curry. So if you want to add a protein or a paneer or anything, or a tofu, you can
That would
add
be
it.
nice.
Yeah,
Oh.
because the vegetable, the curry has a potato, carrot, and a sweet potato in it. So we can add,
Yum.
and when you instead of potatoes, we can, maybe the chicken might require to be cooked a little longer then, if you add it. Yeah. Otherwise, what I would do for the family, I would make this vegetable curry and then just pan fry some chicken thighs.
I was thinking that, or you could even steam them in your varoma whilst you were steaming the curry. Could you not?
Yeah, but
If you don't
because
mind the
I'm
juices coming through, if you're not vegetarian, you'll have for me, that's extra delicious, having the chicken juices in the, in the curry.
So, but because I'm a very strict vegetarian, I've got 2 separate bowls and all the funny things in my house. Sorry.
Don't have to be sorry. All right,
Okay.
Aleesha.
So my roti are now done. So if you can see.
Beautiful. Well done.
Yeah,
You're a
thank
professional
you.
roti maker.
That was the first time
Show us again, sorry.
second time.
Bring it close so we can all see. I've made your screen bigger. Oh, wow.
Well
that
done.
looks
Beautiful.
very nice.
So it does say to put them into tin foil, but if you have a thermosaver, keep them in there to keep them warm rather
I'll
than
give
wasting
you a
tin
tip
foil.
over here. Put a paper towel in your thermosaver. So that
Yes, because it stops the going soggy.
Yeah.
Here is a paper
Oh,
towel.
so put a paper towel first, and then do you put a paper towel between each
No,
roti? No.
not necessary, but if you put it down in your thermosaver, it will be nice. It won't stick. It won't become soggy.
That's good to know.
You know what we
Right,
used to do those days when we had no paper towels and all that? We used to just pack up our rotis in a muslin cloth.
Use what, sorry?
In a muslin cloth, which is available.
Yep.
Or I
Okay.
think even a kitchen towel would be okay. I've never tried it. We always put
Like
this.
a clean tea towel.
Yeah, a clean tea towel also should be okay.
Perfect. All right, so I've got my
Yeah,
second
your
lot
rotis.
of roti. Pardon me? Oh, really? Now?
Done. Yeah.
They're still.
Yeah, but then you can just turn it again.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you get
You're the
those,
master.
I'm looking forward to seeing this curry.
Me too. Okay, so now it asks for 100 grams of spinach. I have a bag of 120 grams, so I'm going to just chuck the whole thing in. And then it says for you to, oh, is it going to fit? No. It says for you to stir it in as it wilts.
The lid,
Yes.
which has got, somebody has posted that they got lid, smell on the lid. Just use, if you have a TM6, use lime in your, pre-clean mode. When you're using the pre-clean mode, just put a slice of lemon in it. So all the others, and then put the lid in the hot sun.
And then yes, so that goes for the same for the butterfly whisk that's in there. If you're using chicken breast, is that will go a little yellow from the turmeric as well.
So just put it out in the hot sun.
Out in the sun. Yeah, I put that as well. So stir with the spatula. Leave to stand for 2 to 3 minutes to allow it to wilt. So I'm actually going to be a pain and I'm going to step past that because I'm going to put some cream in, and I think it cooks for, does it cook for any more? It cooks for 30 seconds. So I'm just going to go back and do that. Right. So I'm adding in, here's my teaspoon gone. Sorry, guys. It's a 1/4 teaspoon. Nice one, Aleesha. 1 and 150 grams of cream, which I've left in the fridge because I didn't want it to go. And, right. So I'm putting 150 in. So you can, if you does it change the taste too much if you put coconut cream in instead?
No.
You find
I always use coconut cream. We love
coconut cream.
Are we going to be able to see what that looks like?
Yes,
In a
so I'm
minute or
just sorry.
two?
In 30 seconds, it's kind of what it is now. But so with this, I am also going to make, so you can make jasmine rice or basmati rice. I think basmati rice is a drier rice. And
Need
then
to turn your roti.
Thank you. This is why I have people here on watching me cook on Zoom, so I won't burn my house down.
We are your helpers.
Yeah, thanks so much. So next, some fresh coriander. I don't have fresh coriander very often, so I just get the dried coriander flakes. Yeah, I know it's probably, and you can obviously omit that if you are genetically disposed to think that coriander tastes like soap. So some people, it's a genetic thing. I think it's like 1 in 4 people. Yeah, no, it actually is that. Some people,
genetic, a gene.
Yeah, it makes you think that coriander, well, not think, but you think coriander tastes like soap.
Coriander powder is also okay. Just put
coriander
powder.
Yes, I would have put
like
it coriander powder.
The flakes are like little leaves, but the coriander powder will give its taste.
Oh, so I correct you. There's 2 teaspoons of coriander powder in this already as well.
I find basmati rice a little dry. If I don't know what recipe you'll use for cooking the basmati rice, but I bring the long grain basmati rice and they turn perfect. And if you're using a Thermomix boiled rice recipe, instead of putting 350 grams, put 325 grams of rice. So that gives it more space for the rice to, and then immediately empty it in your thermo server and close it so the rice will puff up much better.
Oh.
Yeah.
We like to use the Hello Fresh before we use Hello Fresh. Cool. So this is all done, and then I'll just show you what it looks like on the top. Oh, look how good that looks. So I have now made dinner.
Amazing. Wow, look at that. And I love the chicken has stayed really nice and chunky, which is because you've kept that butterfly in, because when you're using chicken breast, it doesn't have that membrane around it like the chicken thigh does. And so if you do substitute breast for thigh, you always need to make it a much big chunkier cut. And like Aleesha's done, use your butterfly to keep it off the blades, because look how beautiful and chunky that chicken pieces have come out. Nice. I hope you're gonna put that in a nice bowl and a picture for us, please, Aleesha, that we can pop on the group.
Definitely.
And I was hoping to do it before now, but Shernaz has done a beautiful post of the dish she made yesterday for us, and I'm going to pop that picture into our event as well. We've got a question here: would the blade cover work for this recipe, Aleesha?
I'm just trying to think, because you have to worry about what's getting trapped underneath the blade cover, and you'd have to put it in. I'm just thinking what's in it.
No,
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. No, because with the blade cover, it's still turning the recipe around, but you would have to you'd have to take everything out of your bowl unless you've got a second bowl, and then put it back on top, because otherwise you're going to have all the onion and the turmeric and everything sitting underneath, and then you'd have your chicken and tomato on top, and I don't feel like it would infuse properly.
Yeah, I wouldn't put the blade cover too.
I agree. I wouldn't use the blade cover either.
Yeah, it would be different for more like if you were using like what's one that I've done, if you do like a meatballs and tomato sauce, because it's a very thin sauce, you can have the sauce up and down and it doesn't matter. You're not going to get any thick stuff trapped underneath that could potentially also burn. So yeah, definitely check out recipes to use with the blade cover book, and then you kind of get a guide as to what you can you can start to use or not use. But yeah, not for this, I wouldn't. So,
Right.
short
Fantastic.
answer, no.
Thanks so much, Aleesha and Shernaz. Really, really appreciate you joining us again today. I'm just going to stop the recording now.